Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm still getting used to them even being they were in the back sleeping, and somehow I thought they were going to stay asleep, but we're still getting to know each other. But anyway, I got through the church service, and my dad was happy, and I was kind of glad that I ended up going to support. My sisters and my nephew, they were all there to support. And so I just came back in and unwound a little bit and decided to hop on and tell you something kind of interesting that I listened to the other day. And it was a list of gifts that you should not accept. And I thought, oh gosh, what kind of gifts is that? So I wanted to run it by you guys. Of course, you have to use your own discernment. And once I got through with this list, and I was like, well, dang, it don't look like there's nothing left that you can accept. But the thing is you just have to be careful about who you're going to be accepting things from, because not all gifts that's being given are being given with good intentions. So the first thing on the list was perfumes, scented candles, incense, and oils. And what it said about that is that fragrances carries unusual psychological power. The sense bypasses logic almost completely, and that it enters into your what's called your limbic system. And it's where the part of the brain stores memory and attachment for longing. And I thought that was really, really deep, and it leaves an emotional imprint on our lives. Scents, fragrances, it can change your emotional state. And it's a gift of carrying someone else's emotional energy. Y'all know how somebody come by you and, they smell good, and you be like, oh, wow, that smells so good. What is that you're wearing, or whatever it is? So that does, have an effect on our brains. Also, what's on the list is a mirror or a reflective tray or a polished reflective frame, like a picture frame or something, a decorative glass, anything, I guess, that is reflective, and it's designed to catch the eye. It's, of course, it's decoration, but what's on this list is just saying it's like a mirror, and the mirror enters your home through someone carrying resentment or envy or competition. That object may absorb that emotional charge that's being given by somebody else. It just can bring tension, into the room that shifts the atmosphere. So again, these are mirrors or reflective objects. Also on the list is necklaces, bracelets, and rings, which they're saying are commonly worn against your skin. It touches your chest, your wrist, your fingers, and you wear that daily most of the time. Because I have a necklace that I've worn for, oh my gosh, at least 30 years. And most of the rings that I wear, I've had for 30 or 40 years. So there are things that, that you wear day in and day out, year after year. But the difference is, I gave those things to myself. I did not receive them from anybody else. But if you're receiving them from somebody else, it's saying that gives you an emotional, powerful charge. And it depends on, if you're given these gifts, what the giver was feeling at the time that it made that transfer to you. And also, it can become associated to that object when it's given. So just be careful about who you accept those kinds of things from. And Also, your bedroom, which is next on the list, which is extremely important, what you have surrounding you while you are in your most vulnerable state and your most vulnerable space in your life, because what you have around you influences your sleep and your dreams. And your dreams is where the unconscious mind loses control. So anything that shouldn't be in there, can have an effect. Bedroom gifts, they carry psychological weight. If somebody gave you a pillow, blanket, bed sheet, decorative gifts, it's like in your psychic territory. Okay, so just be careful about who is giving you these gifts. Again, I'm not saying that that this list is saying don't accept it, but you just have to be careful about who you're accepting these gifts from, and what is the motivation and the intention behind these gifts. And the most dangerous of all, it's saying, this next on the list, is a photograph or a printed portrait. It's a remembrance, and it is the most powerful of all. A photo is never experienced, is just, a reflection or something that's on a piece of paper. It's an extension of that person themselves, because that old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. It can trigger emotion, memory, longing. If you had pictures of like an old boyfriend or somebody like that, when you look at some old pictures of whenever y'all was together and you was happy, and then you look at those pictures, it's like you're living these memories all over again. And it will invoke, fear, guilt, comfort, and it has a psychological attachment after the physical connection is gone. And that could even be with family members who has gone on. You might, just say, for instance, you lost your mom or somebody really, really close to you, and then all of a sudden you look at a photograph of them, and it just brings back all of these memories that just come back, and then of course, you're going to start missing that person, and sadness, and all of these other emotions. And this is why, like, cutting cords is important, especially if it's not really, really clear about the emotions of the other person, like old boyfriends and stuff like that. If it's a parent or a family member, it's different. But if it's an old friend or old lover or ex, boyfriend or something, you want to cut those cords, because that's something you don't want to keep remember over and over and over again. So if any of these gifts are in your home, remove them and just see how your life changes. This list is saying a photo is presence. Because if you have a photo just sitting, on your mantle or whatever, it is presence. It's not just a photo, because it has psychological essences to it. And you have to make sure that those emotions towards you, if it's unclear or impure, never accept those things. And so that's my message for you guys today, is just to be careful about what you accept and from who, and what those intentions may be. And if it's unclear, just don't take it, because they can have a bigger effect on you than you might think. And so that's my message for you guys today. So thank you for coming by. And y'all know where I'm headed. I'm headed to www.soulgasmdesigns.com. Come on, guys. There's a lot of great stuff over there. I'll see you there. Bye.